Superb has long been the standard bearer for Skoda's model lineup, but it gained a fresh lease of life in this more sophisticated third generation guise and has further been improved in the form we look at here. This enhanced design looks sharper inside and out, and the brand now offers a plug-in hybrid option for the first time too. Plus, the pricing remains sensible, there are extra high-tech driving aids, and there's still a class-leadingly spacious cabin, along with an absolutely huge boot in both hatch and estate variants. The result is a very complete package that should prove likeable to live with. As Skoda points out, you'll probably end up spending several years of your life in a car. Important then to choose the right one. If customer satisfaction surveys are to be believed, few Superb buyers ever doubt that they've done just that.
The days are long gone when a Superb tackled twisting roads with all the agility of a cross-channel ferry. The installation of a stiff, sophisticated Volkswagen Group MQB platform into this third-generation model in 2015 delivered a level of handling prowess broadly comparable with its close cousin, the Volkswagen Passat. Which means that though this Skoda remains very much comfort-orientated, it's these days surprisingly capable should the need arise for you to push it along a bit. There are no chassis or suspension changes with this revised B8 model, but quite a lot's different under the bonnet. As before, the most popular engine will be the mid-range 2-litre TDI 150 PS diesel unit, which has now been heavily redesigned to a more advanced Evo spec. It manages up to 57.7 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 128 grams per kilometre of CO2, both WLTP figures. Also likely to be popular amongst Superb buyers are the two lower capacity units. One is conventional, the 150 PS 1.5 TSI unit, which features active cylinder deactivation, and the other is somewhat more sophisticated, fitted to the Superb IV plug-in hybrid, the brand's first electrified model. Here, a 1.4 TSI petrol engine is mated to an 85 kilowatt electric motor, which boosts total system output to 218 PS, and a 13 kilowatt hour battery, which, when fully charged, can provide up to 35 miles of all-electric WLTP rated driving range. For completion, we'll brief you on the other engine options in the range. There are a couple of 2-litre TSI petrol units, one with 190 PS, the other with 227 PS and all-wheel drive. And there are a couple of alternative diesels, a 1.6 TDI with 120 PS and the 2-litre TDI 190 PS unit we're trying here. This, the older non-Evo generation unit, which will probably be the choice of towers, first because it develops a lusty 400 Newton meters of torque, and second because it can be ordered with the option of all-wheel drive, in which form it can tug along up to 2.2 tons. Most of the engines have to be had with DSG auto transmission, though for the volume 1.5 TSI and 2-litre TDI 150 PS variants there is a manual stick shift option, but as a Superb buyer you're unlikely to want that. This car very much suits an auto and remains the D segment's most laid-back tourer. It seems a long time ago now that the Superb was a dull, dowdy thing. The look of this third-generation B8 series model evolved from designer Josef Caban's futuristic Vision C concept car of 2014, and the brand's current head of styling, Carl Newhold, has subtly updated the front and rear finishing to keep this Skoda feeling current. As before, clean-cut lines, smoothly shaped surfaces and sharp edges dominate. And if you like it, you'll find it difficult to understand why so many family buyers at this price point opt for a mid-sized SUV instead. So, let's get to the changes made here. At the front, the radiator grille gets a bit of extra presence thanks to these double slats, and just below it is a more prominent bumper framing a revised lower fascia section with wider, slimmer fog lamps at each corner. To suit the current trend, the headlights are now of the full LED variety. Let's move to the rear, where it's a bit easier to identify the changes marking out the updated version of this Mark III model. This thin chrome bar runs along the full width of the car, bisecting the full LED tail lamp clusters at either end. Time to take a seat behind the wheel. As the door closes with a reassuring thunk and you take a seat inside, you find yourself in a clean, classy cabin that's simply styled and now lightly embellished with chrome highlights on the door handles and ambient lighting on the dashboard. The key cabin change will probably cost you extra. This 10.25-inch virtual cockpit instrument binnacle screen, which thanks to borrowed Audi technology is one of the better digital displays out there. Another more subtle improvement is the standardisation across the lineup of a touchscreen in the centre of the fascia, no smaller than 8 inches in size. And most buyers prefer the mid-range Amundsen system with its integrated navigation and Wi-Fi that allows access to the useful Skoda Connect package of online services. We've got the even more sophisticated 9.2-inch Columbus monitor here. We also like the brand's so-called Simply Clever touches. The umbrella holder in the door, these useful little side pockets, the cooling you get for the glove box, and this spacious centre armrest compartment to keep drinks and sweets chilled, and the neat one-handed cup holder below the gear stick that removes the need for the driver to take both hands off the wheel to unscrew a bottle top. Let's take a seat in the back. Now, you'll expect a lot here from a Superb if we tell you that the only car in the whole of the Volkswagen Group portfolio with more rear seat legroom is an Audi A8 long wheelbase limousine. And sure enough, there really is a limousine-like feel to the way that once inside you can stretch out back here. Most other family vehicles require you to slot your feet beneath the seat in front, but in a Superb that may not be necessary if you aren't particularly tall. Elbow room was improved as part of the design changes which created this third generation model, making it easier to comfortably transport 3 adults over long distances than it would be in any other car in this sector, despite the prominence of this centre transmission tunnel. And out back, well, get your stuff over the rather pronounced boot lip and you'll find a 625-litre space on offer. That's 39 litres bigger than you get from a Volkswagen Passat, 83 litres bigger than a Ford Mondeo, and a huge 135 litres bigger than a Vauxhall Insignia. The Superb Estate can take 660 litres. A ski hatch can accommodate longer items. Annoyingly, though, you do have to pay extra if you want to activate the spring-loaded 60/40 split-folding seat backs with boot-mounted levers. And once everything's retracted, there's up to 1,760 litres of space. Unfortunately, the cargo floor isn't completely flat, but it can be if you choose the Estate model, which offers up to 1,950 litres of space on demand. This then remains a convincing flagship for Skoda's increasingly impressive model lineup, offering real luxury in an everyday accessible package. It's now safer, slicker, and particularly in plug-in form, more technically advanced too. Or, to put it another way, it is, to use Skoda's words, simply clever.